Hey YouTube, what's up? Today I'm going to show you my top 15 favorite albums. Problem is that I don't have four of them, so I'm going to name them off first. The first one being Slipknot's first album. It's raw, it's awesome, it's fucking so angry, and I know that a lot of technical people don't like it, like technical metal people don't like it, but there's so much raw emotion on that album. It's amazing, and it gets me pumped every time I hear it. Honestly, some highlights: Sick, Eyeless, Prosthetics, and Eeyore are all those. The album's good from front to back, in my opinion, but those are the highlights of the album. So there's that. Choking Victims, No Gods, No Managers would be the second one I'd pick. Um, there's some highlights are. Uh, 500 Channels is amazing. Uh, Money is amazing. Crack Rock Steady is amazing. In Hell's amazing. It's not really great from front to back, I wouldn't say, but it's an album I'd love to own. I still don't own it. I should probably buy it. Um, Cradle of Filth and Amphetamine. Uh, Another album that's I mean, from front to back, amazing. I think there's like one song on it I kind of am annoyed by because it doesn't have the same feel as the rest of the album. But honestly, that's a great fucking album. And I know it's kind of mainstream for black metal, but whatever. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Oh, by the way, on Amphetamine highlights are Gilded Cunt, Gabriel. Uh, the song Amphetamine's actually pretty cool. Honestly, there's so many good songs on the album. It's hard for me to remember. Plus, the titles are really fucked up and weird because it's Cradle of Filth. But Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, uh, absolute must-have. I don't own it, but I hear it a lot at my dad's house. My brother has it, so I've heard it lots. But I really love that album. The whole thing's awesome. It's an experience. Pink Floyd always is. Next up, these are ones that I actually have. Nirvana's Nevermind. I I'm not a huge Nirvana fan, but when I think about an album that I can hear like all the way through, like it sounds weird that I say I'm not a Nirvana fan when I'm doing this, but this album I was a Nirvana fan at one point, and this album is great all the way through. Aside from the "Smells Like Teen Spirit," 'cause that song is fucking annoying, and it's not just because the band hated playing it. That was the first Nirvana song I heard, and it's been played to fucking death. Uh, Next up, I got CKY, Infiltrate, Destroy, Rebuild. There's only two bad songs on the album, and that's Plastic Plan and Close Yet Far. Those songs do not fit in with the album like the rest of it. This album, though, is an entity in itself. It's really good, aside from those two, because they stray away from what they were doing before. Uh, Next up, Clumsy by Our Lady Peace, a Canadian band. This album, aside from Let You Down, Big Dumb Rocket, and Carnival, the rest of the album's amazing. I think that it totally captures a feeling. I think that they were trying really hard as a Canadian band to get somewhere, and I think they succeeded. So I have a lot of respect for that album. Then we got Strange Days by the Doors. Um, Strange Days by the Doors only has like two bad songs on it. One of them is Unhappy Girl, and right underneath that is Horse Latitudes, which is just a poem. The rest of the songs on the album are awesome, and it shows the Doors, I think, at their pinnacle of being awesome in general. Uh, Next up, we got a couple punk rock albums. Uh, Ballads of the Revolution by, I forgot what it was called, by Good Riddance. This album has a lot of kick-ass fucking songs on it. Fertile Field, Sacrifice, Take Control, Genie, which isn't really kick-ass, but I like it. Salt, Choices Made, Waste Slowly, Without Anger, Ever Smile. They even do a cover of I Stole Your Love by Kiss and Years From Now. This whole album's pretty damn good. Basically, the whole fucking thing. Uh, Good Riddance is great. And I think any punk band would probably agree with me on that. Bigwig, Unmerry Melodies. I think there's a lot of flaws in this album, but there's a lot of good stuff to make up for it. They have the Cheers theme song on here that they did. Old Lady, Best of Me, Drunken Night, uh, you know, Pro Life Taker, uh, Carnivore, Girl in the Green Jacket is a perfect way to end the album. It's a fucking kick ass fucking song. It's not a very good song lyrically, but when it comes to like actually being a fucking powerhouse song, it kicks the fuck out of most things. Um, Next up is No Effects' So Long Thanks for All the Shoes. I grew up with this album, so I automatically I'm kind of biased towards it. I love it. Everything about it is awesome. There's like three bad songs on the album, and when I say bad, they're boring as shit. But the rest of the album's awesome. Now we're gonna get to. I'm gonna save my last two records because they kind of hit the top for me here. I don't know what I can really say about them, but I will show the two before it. And hold on, one of them is the Stooges' first album. I only have this on vinyl. This has some really crazy, like these guys, they were so hungry and so pissed off. I Want to Be Your Dog, 1969, We Will Fall, No Fun, and those are the highlights of the album. I wouldn't say that the whole album's flawless all the way through, but I would say that it's one of my favorite albums for sure. I love rocking that one out. And the other one that I really like, whoops, I almost knocked some shit over, was Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe. I honestly wanted this on vinyl just because I love the cover art. but this album is flawless almost all the way through, in my opinion. Aside from How to Make a Monster, What Lurks on Channel X, and The Beginning of the End, which are just a bunch of sound things, except for How to Make a Monster. It always sounds like it's way too quiet. I think it was supposed to. The last two albums I'm going to show you guys, they are by far my pinnacles. I don't know which one to put first, but I do want to say Run Your Pockets by No Cash is like, this is a crust punk band, and they are the tightest crust punk band you've ever heard. A lot of people like No Leftover Crack, Star Fucking Hipsters, and Choke Victim, which are all done by the same vocalist, Stiz Crack, or whatever we want to call him, Scotty or whatever. But and you know, Choky Victim, Leftover Crack. I love all those bands. But this is a crust punk band doing it perfectly, doing the genre perfectly. This is a great album, almost all the way through. But it's funny because when I'm at work, this album actually, it's so annoying, like to most people, that my timers at work, when they go off, I can't even hear them because this album's playing, and they play a lot of high pitched guitar solos that are like, and it kind of it's one of those bands. It's like Kill Your Mom music. They actually have a song called Kill Your Parents. And the last album I want to show you guys it's like definitely up there. It's probably my favorite album. Sort of. It's hard for me to say, but I think the title of it and the way it sounds all goes together perfectly. And that is Antichrist Superstar by Marilyn Manson. I wouldn't say this is my favorite album in the world, but I would say this album, from the way it looks, from the way it sounds, from the way it's titled, all is perfect the way it is. It's just exactly the way it is. It's perfect. I have a haunted apartment, by the way, so I just heard something over there, and both me and my cat were looking. Anyway, I want to say, amazing album. This is before Marilyn Manson became a fucking whiny bitch. This is when he was pissed off and he was trying to come up with his own image, and it fucking worked. It did. It worked beautifully, and there will never be an album that he does again that will have this kind of impact. He likes to say every time he puts out an album, this is just like Antichrist Superstar, but it won't be. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Peace.